Spawning here in the top left corner, playing with the blue Terran pieces for Shopify Rebellion. It is BYUN.
And spawning here at the bottom right, we have our red Terran player playing for Kai Z Gaming. Give it up for Innovation.
It's funny because whenever I think of a Terran who innovates, I just think of Gumiho and Battle Mech. I don't really think of Innovation, the man himself.
You know, I would say that Innovation did kind of invent kind of the Hellbat style back in the Heart of the Swarm. That was one of the he was one of the Terran players that really made use of the Hellbat to the Hellions to Hellbat army there, making it really strong. And of course, that was many years ago, as Heart of the Swarm was quite some time ago, but he has managed to stay as one of the top Terrans throughout the years.
So we do see both players going for a standard TVT opening so far. Double gas, a factory going down for both players at approximately the same time.
Yeah, and it's also interesting to note that both players hasn't scouted each other yet. They did not send a SCV across the map, so they're kind of taking a little bit of a risk, hoping that both players does not, or hoping that the other player does not have a proxy out there somewhere.
Oh, I was just about to say that both Reapers were moving in symmetry, but it looks like Innovation just sort of gonna scout around with his first Reaper, as BYUN's Reaper goes immediately to the natural. Actually gonna catch out Innovation's SCV on the bottom of the ramp. Yeah, that's a little bit awkward, right? You never like it when you're about to build a natural and it just gets stopped, interrupted by a Reaper, but that Reaper does pay the price with its life, as Innovation's Reapers do clean that one up.
Yeah, a little bit of a kind of a miscontrol there by BYUN, I feel like, with his initial Reaper, kind of attacking the SCVs, but kind of putting himself in kind of a corner, and then making the hesitation move when he threw the grenade. I think he could have ran away and escaped when he threw the grenade, but he kind of hesitated and was not able to get his Reaper out in time. And oh man, losing a second Reaper. Boy, BYUN being a little bit of a back foot, as he does not have any attacking army out in the field yet.
Yep, BYUN can sense it. He can smell it. He put up those two supply depots at his main ramp. Now, this first Cyclone is out, and Cyclones definitely have a lot of defensive potential in the early game. So we're gonna have to wait and see how well this Cyclone does, as it does gun down the first Hellion. Reapers and the Hellion do try to come up the ramp. Not able to find any room though, as BYUN just barely has units out on time.
Yeah, a little bit of a close call there. Got a little bit scary, but luckily the Marines and the Cyclone did pop out in time. And looks like all in all, let's see here, 2 Reapers lost for BYUN, 1 Hellion and SCV for Innovation. So kind of an even trade there, nothing too significant. And but we do see BYUN does have a slightly, a worker lead there, 30 to. Oh well, no, as I say that, it does tie up.
Alright, so we do see this medevac coming out. Innovation, oh my gosh, look at that timing. Innovation spots the medevac with the Hellion, forces the medevac to drop out, as BYUN does not actually know if there is a Cyclone potentially on the way to gun down that medevac, but he is supplemented by 2 Cyclones of his own, and he's just going to head straight for the natural, as the 3 Reapers in the main of BYUN actually doing some pretty solid damage. So it looks like both players are looking to take a couple of fights.
The question is, who will come out on top? So far, though, looks like these Reapers still alive. It's still taking some workers down.
Wow.
And all in all, Innovation getting the better end of that trade, as he does get and snipe 8 workers compared to only the 4 that BYUN was able to snipe.
Yeah, definitely. Innovation looks like he's very, very solid in this early game, putting down a third command center as well. BYUN not quite there, but still definitely, you know, holding his own, keeping up with the 34 SCVs to 38. Not ideal in a mirror, of course, to be down on workers, but at least he's not down, you know, something like 10 or 15 workers.
Yeah, and you know, in the TVT matchup, being down a couple of workers isn't, you know, the end of the world. Because of how volatile the fights gets in TVT, it really, you know, kind of depends on the engagements, how well you or efficient you come out during the fight. So even if you're down by a couple of workers, it's not, you know, too, you know, extreme of a deal. So as long as you can kind of get some nice trades during the fights and the engagements, you should be fine. You know, considering the small worker deficit. But ooh, we have a little bit of a crossfire here out in the middle of the map.
Oh wow! BYUN's first Raven actually does go down. Both players, it's kind of rare to see this actually in modern games where you do see both armies sort of out on the map away from either player's bases. We do see a couple of flanking Cyclones taking down the tank on the side of Innovation, but Innovation still looking to keep pushing forward as he does have more tanks than BYUN does out on the field. 4 of Innovation's SCVs have gone down. These Cyclones, I thought they were dead, but I guess not. Still doing pretty solid damage. Wow.
Wow, these 2 Cyclone hit squad, their name are Artosis and Tasteless. They kind of duel up together to take down the SCVs as their main mission there. Was successful, taking down 9.
Yeah, definitely. Now, like you mentioned, right, this matchup is very volatile. Both players taking extreme care, making sure that they don't lose any units unnecessarily. Now, Innovation does have the air control with a good Viking count as well as Raven. For BYUN, all we really see are Marines and 1 single Raven. Now, of course, siege tanks do shoot farther than they can see, so having that air control is crucial to make sure that you can have the edge in this matchup. And it looks like BYUN is going to be forced back home for now. These tanks, you do not want to lose them now. The first tank does go down. Vikings finally take down the last Raven, and it looks like BYUN is going to have quite a bit of trouble holding here, because I don't really see any sort of redeeming factors in his army.
Yeah, especially with the Viking count. Boy, that is going to be... That's going to be difficult for BYUN, and he's going to have to GG out. BYUN is going to concede, and Innovation will take game number 1.
Yep, so here we are on Jaganatha LE for game number 2, spawning in the bottom left corner of the map, playing for Shopify Rebellion. It is the Blue Terran, BYUN.
Alright, and spawning here at the top right, he is the Red Terran player, enjoying a 1-0 lead, looking to close it out with a 2-0 victory. Can he do it? He is the machine from Kaiji Gaming. He is Innovation. Alright, by the way, thank you Sushi in the Twitch chat. If you guys haven't done so, make sure to head on over to the Matrino page while this game is getting started, and enter the coupon code AX346 to contribute 50 cents absolutely free to the prize pool. And as you do that, we do have to note that there is a 2 Rex coming out of BYUN and also 2 gas. So you know, TeaDragon, I'm kind of smelling Mass Reapers. What do you think?
Oh, that is definitely on the menu tonight. I love it. Now, I don't think this 2 Rex Reaper includes reactors, does it? That would be pretty crazy, right? Like pumping out 4 Reapers at a time. Is that too crazy for 2 gas?
Yeah, I mean, and there's also the reactor takes a long time to make, so you want to kind of...
Not really worth it.
Yeah, it's not really worth it. Maybe 1 on 1 barracks, but on 2, no, I don't think so. And you know, Innovation does send an SCV scout, so he's gonna have a heads up on this. And I'm actually kind of surprised he's making a command center still, because
yeah,
he needs something to defend like really soon.
Yeah, definitely. Now, his first Reaper is going to see that there is one Reaper for BYUN out on the map, going to chase it back. Actually does get the upper hand. Nade for BYUN does actually shoo back the red Reaper for now, but like you said, you know, like it's a little bit bold, really, to put down that command center on site.
Yeah, I mean, if he was going to make it, I would think that it would probably be more safer to throw it down in the main base instead, but these two Reapers are going to go ahead and greet the Reaper of Innovation, make him pay for this as the SCV or the Reapers takes down the SCV building that CC. That's going to delay a bit. Oh, might actually delay this factory. Oh, just barely getting it up.
Wow, and that is actually key, right? Because that means that the Hellion can start production. Now, will it matter? That is the question here, as we do see a bunch of SCVs low on health. Some SCVs actually going down as well. Innovation's SCVs, poor little guys, they're still chasing away at the Reapers. Reapers, of course, if microed properly, will never ever, should, in theory, never ever lose to the SCVs. As I say that, one of them does get picked off. 9 SCVs for Innovation have gone down. I'd say that was a punishment for sure.
Yeah, but we do see Innovation was able to get up that second CC, turning that into an orbital ASAP. And more units streaming across the map for BYUN, continuously making those Reapers, making those Hellions. The thing is, can he overwhelm Innovation here? That's the question.
You know, I kind of feel like you put all of these Marines, you put that Hellion for Innovation out on the map, set them up right next to these Reapers and this Hellion for BYUN. Yeah, they probably could lose. And now we do see this next engagement coming up. We see BYUN's Reapers coming in, a couple of Hellions as well. Gonna stay up on the ramp, work on that supply depot. Innovation definitely sweating a little bit right now, I would feel. You know? Oh, and the supply depot does go down. BYUN, oh my gosh, the man himself ties it up 1-1 immediately. Match point for both of our players here, actually. Spawning in the top left corner, playing for the team Shopify Rebellion as the Blue Terran, it is BYUN.
And here, at the bottom right corner of the map, facing off against Micro Jackson himself. Let's see if Innovation can turn into the smooth criminal. He is from Kazi Gaming. It is Innovation. And what do we have here, TeaDragon?
I love it. Why put it at the third? Why put it at the fourth? Just put it in the natural. You know? Innovation's not going to see this. Whatever. Like, everything's fine. Oh man, I love this already.
Oh my god.
This SUV, it's going to go straight across the map for Innovation to BYUN's side of the map. And that barracks is going to finish, Snoopy. What is going to happen here?
Well, there are 2 gases for BYUN, so he might actually go ahead and proxy a factory behind this. I can't, or actually, oh, as I say that, never mind.
Marauders?
He is going for Marauders, yeah.
I love it. And with the barracks being literally at Innovation's doorstep, I mean, those Marauders are going to get right up in Innovation's face real quick. Now, Innovation with the scouting SCV does see that there are shenanigans afoot. Sees that, hey, you do not have a barracks in your main wall. It is either tucked away somewhere where I can't see, or you are indeed proxying it. Now, we do see that factory going down on BYUN's side of the map as he does start Concussive Shell with his proxy. And now Innovation, I think he's learned part of his lesson, right? He's not making a natural CC. Funny thing is, if he did make the natural CC, he would see that these Marauders are out coming from this proxy barracks. Now, it is a little bit too late for that as the first Marauder does start engaging. And wow, I've forgotten how tanky Marauders are, actually, as we do see SCVs pulled off the line. How much damage can this Marauder get? Ooh.
Oh, he's want to make sure not to overextend and just get surrounded by those SCVs. And now the second Marauder joins up. This is going to get more difficult to hold off as Innovation trying to pump out as much units as he can to defend this, even making a Widow Mine.
I like the Widow Mine in theory. I'm not... Oh, actually, I love it in that position, right? Because The Marauders, of course, are not air units. They're not going to have high ground, and it's going to be a tough time pushing up that ramp into the Widow Mine and into range of that bunker. So it looks like Innovation for now has stalled out the game long enough that he can sort of stabilize a little bit.
Yeah, and he's smartly gonna go ahead and lift up the barracks. Gonna give him vision of that Widow Mine, so he's gonna. As I say that, I guess he just
huge mistake.
Yeah.
That was not good at all. Innovation actually got really lucky, or I don't know what with the Widow Mine, but ooh, look at BYUN's micro. Actually takes down both of the Marines, and now there's nothing left. Okay, this has been a whirlwind, right? We started with 3 Marauders that all died. Now this, okay, and then we also have Innovation's Reaper that comes in, gets a couple of SCVs before being roasted to death. But yeah, that 3 Marauder hit swap went up, and I believe in theory Marauders outrange Widow Mine, so in theory they should not have died, but one of them did get shot by the Widow Mine. Just a bit of a mistake by, as you said yourself, Micro Jackson, but the 2 living Marauders are going to pick up and go home.
Yep. So overall, a kind of more efficient trade here for BYUN, but the real damage dealer, I think, will be in these Banshees with Cloak, unless Innovation can kind of have the counters for that, which he looks like he will, because he is opening up with a Raven instead of a Banshee himself. So that's going to give him vision to of course get vision on the Banshees. Also making some Marines so he can kind of shoot up there. So kind of looking like a very chaotic opening now, transitioning into more of a kind of a stable, more calmer, I guess mid-game or so.
Yeah, this is very interesting. Oh, it's so funny seeing Innovation land the natural right underneath that northern tech lab that, of course, cannot be lifted. Just kind of a funny sight to see. Now, Innovation, like you said, he held on, and he's trying to transition into a very safe sort of opener, right? We do see the tanks coming out. We do see Stim just started. And we, instead of a medevac, for example, we do see that Raven paired with that Cyclone just for that early game defense. Now, Innovation, of course, famous for his macro. At the same time, we do see BYUN taking a 3rd command center on site at the same time as his Banshees are moving out. I love it. Out macro Innovation himself. Why not, right? That's how you beat anything. You just have more of whatever they have.
Yeah, I mean, the early game did kind of favor BYUN, so he's going to be able to feel confident enough to drone down that CC not only quicker than Innovation, but out on spot at the 3rd base there, while these Banshees on the left and right side. He does have one Banshee on the left side and the right to kind of deal damage in the mineral line.
Yeah, I kind of wish they would go in ASAP, right? Because we do see the Innovation's Raven is actually caught out on the map at the moment, and I don't believe there are many scans. There might be 1 scan available for Innovation coming up, but if those Banshees were to hit, especially like you said, both of them simultaneously right now, they could do a lot of damage. Now, we do see Innovation also greedily taking a 3rd Nexus. Sorry, we are not dealing with Protoss here. A 3rd command center on site, so yeah, both players kind of have the same ideas. Now, we do see a double drop paired with an almost full energy Raven for Innovation coming out into the main of BYUN. And this has the potential to do a little bit of damage as the siege tanks and the Raven for BYUN are actually down at the natural. So here we go.
Oh man, both players attacking at the same time. The drop here at BYUN's base, but also the Banshees attacking at the same time in the natural and the main base. So yeah, this is this is gonna be chaotic for quite some time. Let's see who comes out on top. So far though, oh my god, 24 workers getting killed here. Innovation.
No sir, this ain't it. We do see a disable going off of one of Innovation's tanks, but not both of them. That front tank shelling away, dealing massive amounts of damage to BYUN. 24 of BYUN's SCVs have gone down in that fight, as opposed to, I believe, only 7 for Innovation. So Innovation definitely taking the better fight there in this last game of the series. Wow, I'm blown away.
Yeah, and this was a little bit questionable that BYUN didn't even send his Banshees a lot sooner. I would have thought that he would kind of attack once Cloak was done, but he kind of waited with these Banshees. and I think that kind of bit him in the dust. And now Innovation looking to march forward to a victory here. Still got to close it out, but he is enjoying a really great position at this point.
Yeah, definitely. Oh no, BYUN, not like this. The Vikings caught out of position again, allowing those Marines to drop out of the 2 medevacs in the main base. And, you know, just imagine if those Vikings caught out the medevacs. This would be a completely different game. Those drops would not even happen. And Innovation takes the series by a storm, 2-1.